Hello, everyone. This is just going to be a video over ethics and laws in journalism. So, since I'm going to be out of the office, just wanted to cover this with you guys. As maybe to have some clarification on some things. Before this PowerPoint, there should have been a video right above. So if you have not watched that video yet, I need you to stop this and go watch that video and then come back to this. So if you've watched the video, um, some of the key concepts that want you to understand today are going to be understanding the ethical principles of journalism and then understanding libel laws and what defenses journalists have. So some of the law words that you should be familiar with, especially after reading this unit, are going to be ethics, credibility, libel, plagiarism, slander, defamation, and intrusion. Some of these were covered in that video that you should have just watched, but we'll cover and talk a little bit more in depth about these here in just a second. So basically, what is the difference between ethics and law? So laws are what you have to do, right? So laws are specific set of guidelines that have been established that you have to follow. Ethics are what we should do. So there's nothing saying that we have to do these things, but it's just kind of like that moral code or moral value that most people have that says that you should be doing these things, okay? So libel is an issue that comes up a lot in journalism. So one of the most important things to understand in journalism, especially if you're a journalist, is that you do not want to libel someone. So libel is application of a false statement that would injure someone's reputation. So if you made a comment about someone as you're writing an article, say you're writing a school newspaper article, and you made a comment about a principal that wasn't true and it could ruin their reputation, like you saw them stealing at Target, right? That could completely ruin their reputation, get them fired. That's libel. So those are things that as a reporter, you do not want to do. So this keeps journalists from printing whatever they want about whoever they want, right? You can't just say anything you want about someone. Another thing that often happens, or that should not happen, but does sometimes, is slander. So slander was originally the oral form of libel, so it was spoken, not written. But there are two are so close to each other that slander has been absorbed into libel. In other words, they're basically the same thing. So they can kind of be interchangeable or synonymous. So if you hear someone say slander or libel, they're basically talking about the same thing. So how is libel proven? So to sue for libel and win, a plaintiff must demonstrate five convincing points. So the first one is defamation. So this is the spreading of false reports about someone that injures that person, right? So if we talk about the principal stealing at Target, that definitely hits defamation, right? Identification. The plaintiff must prove that he or she is what the publication is actually talking about. So obviously, if you list someone's name, there's no question there, right? But if you are vague and you're not, and you're kind of beating around like the identity of someone, so you could say like a certain high school principal, but you're not actually saying their name, this identification may not be very clear there. So publication, so it has been given to a third party, not just a private letter or an email or something like that, or a text message. So basically, if we give it to the school newspaper, they're considered a publication, so that's a third party. The last two are fault. This can be either by negligence or actual malice or reckless disregard. So negligence means that the difference between negligence and malice is negligence is you do it kind of because you haven't checked all your facts, or maybe maybe it's by mistake. But malice means that you are actually doing it and you know that you're writing that name and you're just doing it to be mean. And you can kind of connect malice and being mean together. And then also damages. So this means money. So it can mean compensatory or punitive. So basically, if we saw the principal stealing from Target, there's a good chance that he would lose his job, right? Because that's an ethical thing that if the community found out, there would be a good job that, or a good chance his job would be questioned and he would lose his job. So that's where damages come in. That means that he would be losing money because he lost his job. Okay. So those are the 5 components that you have to prove slander. So if you're missing some of these, then obviously you can't prove slander or libel. So defenses. So like if you wrote something and someone is like, okay, I'm suing you because you are slandering me. So what is the defense against libel? Truth. So plain and simple, if the story is true, they can't sue you. So if you did see him actually stealing something and it's true, they can't sue you, right? They can try, but if it's an actual true story, they're not going to be able to. Privilege. If it's said in an arena such as an open court, then it's okay to print it. Fair comment means holds true in opinion pieces. And then admission of error, that means like you are like, I completely said something wrong, and you print a retraction, which means that you own up to that mistake and you print it in a publication. Okay? How to avoid libel. So you need to check sources and make sure you have more than one. Make sure that you are writing from every angle. Understand criminal procedure and terminology. Edit carefully. And a sensitive story should be edited by several people. So it's not something you just want to write yourself. You want to make sure that there are other people looking at it. Technically, we in our class, you probably will not have the opportunity to write anything where this could happen for you. So you should still have several people edit your pieces, but you hopefully will not have to worry about anything like that in this class. So have a notes policy, either save all of them or destroy all of them. So make sure that you are covering yourself in all ways. Okay. So more ways that you can do this. You can avoid confidential content and editorial comments in your notes. You're going to keep a log of your efforts to check out the story. Always ask for a comment or a reaction from the person you're writing about. If they give no comment, then use that in the story. And then behave professionally and identify yourself as a reporter. So these are just key ways to keep yourself from getting in trouble. All right. So another legal matter that happens sometimes is invasion of privacy. So, 4 privacy issues that are often recognized, especially in journalism, are intrusion. So, basically, it involves the reporter gathering news that includes misrepresentation, trespassing, uh, uh, and then using cameras, tape. So, when I think of this, um, I think of like the TMZ reporters or the paparazzi who are going and looking, breaking into like someone's yard and going to get the best pictures they can, or flying drones over and trying to get pictures. And basically, they're invading their privacy, right? So we don't want to do that. Public disclosure includes publication of accurate information regarded as private. Um, so that you want to make sure to be careful of as well. False light, portraying someone inaccurately to point that he or she is embarrassed and reasonable person would be offended. So basically, saying something that's not true about them. So you could say that if you are interviewing a teacher for a school newspaper and you make a comment about them that is that they like to go out and and drink on the weekends or do whatever. Well, that's not appropriate, or that's not something that would be true that you would want to put in an article, right? Because that's portraying someone inaccurately. And appropriation is the commercial exploitation of someone's name or image. So if you were to put someone's name, if we were still talking about the principal, Mr. Smith, and we put his name and then we associate it with something not appropriate or negative, then obviously that would be appropriation. So, three ethics and rules that you should live by: seek the truth and report it fully as possible, act independently, and minimize any hard harm that you would have. All right. So another link that I will put in the class is the Society of Professional Journalistic Code of Ethics. So this link will be below this video. What I would like for you to do is go ahead and pause this video and just take some time and go through this and click through the pages and look through what is in there. There's a lot of great information that you will want to make sure that you look at. And I would actually bookmark this page because you can use it as a reference. Okay. So the rest of what's on the slides are basically some of the assignments that were from this past week and are from Unit 2. So what you have for each of those assignments is its own instructional video, so I'm not going to cover that in here today. I just wanted to do a brief video about ethics and laws. So hopefully this gives you a little bit better of understanding. Super important that you go through every content page for YouTube, because we are going to take this and we're going to use it all the way through units 3 through 10 as well. So make sure that you are using these content pages for other units to help you through some of the other assignments, okay? If you have questions, please let me know.